felt a great disturbance in the Force, as if millions of voices suddenly cried out in terror and were suddenly silenced.
What are you talking about, you fucking old senile asshole? But you see, like, the planet got destroyed and it's just like, boom, Kazamo! And it's gone!
It just gets immediately obliterated the moment the beam hits the planet.
Yeah. It's not like dramatic effect or something.
They don't have any time to cry out in anguish.
I don't give a fuck if the planet gets destroyed immediately. Like, it's fucking powerful and it's not dramatic or something and I like it. But don't have this scene then, like, oh no, it's so dramatic. A lot of people, they were suffering and then they were suddenly silenced. Fuck you.
The Force is vague enough that he could probably sense that like 6 billion people suddenly just died. The Force is just a bunch
The
of
Force
random
can
garbage.
do anything the script wants it to.
Yeah, that's right.
Also, a lot of people bitch about the fact that in the prequels, the first thing they learn is swinging around with a lightsaber. But the exact same thing happens in this movie. The first thing Luke learns from the Force is swinging around with a lightsaber.
It's actually true.
But
I
mean,
mean, the thing here is, it's like it's some kind of makeshift exercise. But then in the prequels, it's like this big academic exercise that they need to do.
The thing is, Obi-Wan is just winging this exercise, this training. He doesn't know how to fucking train because it's stated that he trained Anakin and it failed horribly. Because he's now a super dog asshole.
Mm-hmm.
And he's training this guy right now. And the first thing he's learning him is just to swing around with his stupid saber. And the first thing Yoda learns him is not to go near the dark side and to learn feel the Force. Obi-Wan is just a giant asshole.
I think old Ben is just very senile.
Yeah,
He just doesn't know what the fuck is going on
He's
anymore.
really bad at training, and you can see that obviously with Darth Vader. By the way, do you realize that during the training scene of Luke, that no one was in the cockpit?
I guess it was just they were going straight at light speed.
Yeah, but even at cruise, airliners have at least one guy in the cockpit.
But these
Actually,
guys...
now they have to have two guys because some German asshole flew into a mountain.
Oh yeah.
So they have to call a flight attendant if they want to go to the loo.
Well, you see, this is written by George Lucas, who doesn't know anything about aviation or space travel.
This was in the 70s, so...
I'm gonna assume a person had to be in the cockpit of a plane in the 70s.
Yeah, of course. Also, they could be like ambushed or something, right?
Yeah.
They're smuggling shit.
They were being chased by the Empire moments ago.
I would stay in the cockpit. Fuck you.
At least leave your dog
because
in the cockpit.
I first thought, oh, he's returning to the cockpit to go to Chewie. And then you see Chewie walking around like, wait, no one was in the cockpit?
No, Chewie
Who's
was
flying the aircraft?
Chewie was playing games with the two droids. This is another indication how George Lucas doesn't know anything about space. They're flying towards the fucking Death Star, and then they realize that they shouldn't come too close or that they're being like pulled in with a tractor beam or something. And he says to Chewie, Han Solo says to Chewie,
Full reverse. Chewie, lock in the auxiliary power.
but they don't have a thruster at the cockpit, at the front of the ship, so I'm gonna assume that full reverse means to turn the ship 180 degrees
and then full
and
throttle.
then just full throttle. But they don't even attempt to do that. He doesn't know how spaceships work. He thinks it works like a car, I think.
No, but the problem is, sometimes he thinks it works like a plane, and sometimes he thinks it works like a car. The way spaceships flies, for some reason in Star Wars, is like a plane.
Yeah.
Like they have wings most of the time, and they use the lift on the wings to turn around.
Yeah.
Or that's how real planes fly, but for some reason in space they do the same here, and it makes no sense. But then in this scene, that all gets thrown out of the window, and they have to reverse.
Full reverse.
What?
Pull the handbrake. Full reverse. Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
It's a load of bullshit written by an incompetent
Also, why
fool.
were they following a random fighter was flying there? They want to avoid the Imperial.
If they really wanted to avoid the Imperial fleet, they would just have said, there's a fighter, it can't go into light speed, let's get the hell out of here, let's go into light speed.
Yeah.
Instead of that, he wants to blow it up for some reason.
I think I can get him before he gets there. He's almost in range.
He doesn't even second guess his calculations.
Uh-huh.
Our position's correct, except no Alderaan. Totally blown away.
What? How?
Destroyed by the Empire.
He warps somewhere, and he finds an asteroid field, and they immediately assume the planet is blown up.
Even though a planet has never been destroyed or blown up
Before.
before, Obi-Wan is like immediately, planet has clearly been blown up.
Yeah.
There's no other explanation.
They all should have just said, wow, you're a really shitty navigator. You can't even fly to one stupid planet. Fuck you, motherfucker.
And I guess it has been blown up, but the only reason these characters assume this is because the script needs them to
No, it's
assume it.
the Force.
Okay,
Obi-Wan
let's
felt it
continue.
in the Force. Darth Vader tells them to scan the ship for people or for droids or for shit.
Send a scanning crew aboard. I want every part of this ship checked.
Yeah, now suddenly they can't just scan it for life forms anymore.
Yeah. And also, they're just walking around with some random stormtroopers. Nobody is scanning anything.
No, this is really inconsistent with the beginning of the film. In
Yeah.
the beginning of the film, they can just scan a pod, immediately know if there's any life forms. And now they have to walk through the ship with, I don't know, some kind of crappy technology, and they can't find any life forms. I mean, can't you just scan the ship? It was so easy in the beginning. It's just written for convenience.
Yeah.
It's not written with any logic or rules in mind. I have an issue with this scene. R2-D2, which is, I guess, just some randomly manufactured droid, doesn't really have a purpose. Besides reading the map and being in charge of the garbage room, which also makes me wonder, is it impossible for stormtroopers to read the map if they don't have any R2 units with them? Because it seems like you can only do these things with one of these robots, but it's kind of very impractical that way, right?
Later, they define his purpose as like he's the robot that is like the co-pilot of fighter
Oh yeah,
ships.
yeah.
But they only define that later.
And he clearly fits in like the rebel crafts. He like almost like he's made to fit in the craft. But then for some reason, the fucking Empire also uses the same droids, the exact same rebel droids, and for some reason the rebel droids can interface with like all the panels and all the stuff from the Empire. I mean, right now you have like Apple, and you can use any other outside technology to interface with Apple stuff. If you want to charge your phone, you have to buy a separate Apple charger. You can't just use some random charger that you buy. You can't use USB. Why the fuck can R2 interface with like this newly built star system while he's like some old piece of shit junk droid from 30 years ago?
The best thing is that he never used or he never needed some security code or some authentication or something. He's just some random robot, and he can access every door.
And he does it in multiple occasions across the original trilogy. He just keeps interfacing with random stuff. Okay, sometimes it fails, but he can still interact and interface. And he also does it in the prequels. He like activates the elevator and stuff. And here he also activates. He opens the door of the garbage chute and all that kind of stuff. Why can this fucking droid interface with Imperial technology and just control all that stuff? It doesn't make any sense. If the Empire was even somewhat competent, they would make it so only their own droids could do that.
Yeah, or they could use like some kind of code.
Yeah, or you need to have a code. I don't really get why she is Princess Leia.
Princess Leia.
Sure, originally George Lucas just wrote her as a princess, like some kind of space princess, because it was cheesy and fun or something. But when you got the context of like all the other movies, it doesn't make any sense that she's a princess. Okay, her mother was a queen, but apparently the queens get elected.
I was relieved when my 2 terms were up. But when the Queen asked me to serve as senator, I couldn't refuse her.
And are not like a queen for their entire life. It's just a title. She isn't the queen anymore when Leia gets born. Then she's just a senator.
I'm a senator.
She is not the daughter of a queen. She's the daughter of a senator.
Also, she can't be a princess if the queen is dead, because then she would become queen.
Yeah. Also, it can't be because of her adoptive parents.
There was just some randos.
Because he was also just a senator. So, in the context of all the other movies, the title of princess doesn't make any fucking sense.
Why do robots experience fear?
Like, it's this little car. Why is it so small? Like, if you don't pay attention, you can just crush it accidentally.
Yeah. And why is it afraid when a prison Wookiee yells at it? It should just drive through.
Yeah, it should just keep driving and do its fucking job.
Why would you program a robot to be afraid of things that aren't scary?
Of just yelling.
Yeah. Imagine that our lawnmower robot would be afraid when there's a pigeon right next to it. It would just go right back to his station.
I just sit there for the rest of the day.
Yeah, would be fucking terrible.
You forget it! I already tried it! It's magnetically sealed!
The shot ricochets off, like the door and the walls, and they say it's impossible because it's magnetically sealed. Now, usually when they say that, it's because the lock is magnetic, right?
Yeah, so when you have a door and there's the doorknob to open the door, it uses a spring, and you can accomplish the same with a magnet, I guess. I guess that's what magnetically sealed means, but I think they reference here the magnetic field.
That somehow makes the laser blast ricochet off because it's magnetic.
But that's not how it works. It's not what magnetic things are. These weapons they're light.
They're basically light and heat.
It's obviously a sci-fi show. It's just so fucking mind-boggling that they use the term magnetically sealed.
Yeah.
It's magnetically sealed!
Doesn't make any sense. Why in the first place would the garbage chute be magnetically sealed?
I also have another issue with the garbage sequence, is that since the Death Machine, the Death Star, wasn't yet fully operational, it's pretty new, I guess. It's pretty new. They were only just finishing it up in Rogue One, which takes place 5 seconds before this movie. Yet for some reason, there's already some kind of monster living in their fucking garbage room.
Why?
When the walls like move towards each other to compress the garbage, how does the big monster survive? There are so many questions about this whole sequence, and I don't understand any of it. Is the monster just there to eat the garbage? Why do you have a garbage compactor if the monster's supposed to eat the garbage?
But
why is there water in the garbage room?
Maybe it's also the human waste container.
Maybe there's shit floating around.
Like
and stuff.
there's a lot of fucking scrap metal in this container. How the fuck did it get all there? Also, the whole purpose of a garbage compactor, so that it's all like dense and all the air is out of it, so that it takes up less space, so you can store it, then you can dump it somewhere where it belongs, like a trash planet or something, if you follow the Star Wars rules. But instead of that, they just have all the garbage in there.
And we also find out in the next movie, in Empire Strikes Back, that when a Star Destroyer... Okay, I know they're on the Death Star here, but maybe there's the same principle. When a Star Destroyer is about to jump to light speed, they dump all their garbage.
Well, if they follow standard Imperial procedure, they'll dump their garbage before they go to light speed.
That doesn't make any sense in itself, but also, like, why would you have this trash compactor room if you're just gonna dump your garbage in space anyway?
Yeah.
Then it doesn't matter.
Then this can just be a giant vacuum hole.
Yeah.
And just gonna dump your garbage anyway.
It's also the layout of the Death Star is very confusing. You have like the prison area, and then right under that is the garbage area.
The strange thing is, this is huge, this space station. Why is the prison cell so small and the trash compactor is so fucking small and everything is so super small? What's the rest? A hotel room? Also, why did they put the satellite dish in Lost? Because in the sixth movie, you can see that the satellite dish is the first thing they build, so the whole thing isn't even finished yet and they can shoot already.
Maybe they decided to take a different approach. I mean, just the time frame of building a Death Star doesn't make any sense. I looked it up. There's like 1 year between episode 5 and episode 6. And there's 3 years between episode 4 and episode 5. And there's 20 years between episode 3 and episode 4. So for the first Death Star, they took 20 years, and for the second Death Star, they took at most 4 years. I know it's not finished yet, but it's mostly finished.
Yeah, the laser...
It's missing some panels, but besides that...
Yeah, the weapons are already functioning, so... That's what the whole thing is about, right? It's like the Thunderbolt, you know, the Warthog. It's a plane, the Americans build it, and the whole thing it's basically a flying Gatling gun.
Oh,
They had this huge fucking minigun. I want to make it fly. So they made the cannon fly. You can actually compare it to this shitty station. They had a giant weapon and they said, I want to make it fly in space. I want to make a giant space station that can fly my super weapon and can destroy everything. But like, why is it so fucking enormous? Just build some normal facilities around. Why has to be so huge? It's fucking.
Because the bigger it is, the more intimidating.
It's a fucking immovable object.
That's the same reason why Star Killer Base is like the size of a fucking planet, which should be virtually impossible to do that. But that's a story for another time, I guess. The scene itself, it's so fucking boring.
Yeah.
And it takes way too long. First fucking Luke gets dragged down by this fucking monster, then the fucking panels start moving and they're like trying to put like some sort
metal
of
rod.
Yeah, some kind of metal pipe or whatever. And there's no tension in the scene because all your heroes are here. And there's still 1/3 of the movie to go. They're not gonna kill off everyone and then just have the rest of the movie just Darth Vader sitting there.
No,
that's a job well done.
For the rest of the movie, we're gonna follow these 2 gay robots.
Oh yeah, we're gonna follow the fucking robots again. These fucking useless piece of shit robots. And it's just boring.
Yeah.
And that's why I hate it the most.
I don't give a shit about these characters.
Then we cut back to fucking old man Kenobi, the old senile man. And he's just casually walking around the Death Star. You see like people walking behind him.
He's strolling through the corridors. And nobody sees him.
Nobody is like alarmed by his presence or whatever.
It's fucking great.
And then he goes to the place to deactivate the tractor beam. Now, for some reason, to access the lever, you have to stand on some kind of pillar over an empty void.
It's fucking dangerous.
and even if that is the machine that controls like the functionality of the tractor beam, there would be no reason to put like the panel to interact with it on that fucking pillar. You would put the panel somewhere else.
Put the panel here! You can access it from here! Put the panel there! You fucking moron!
You would access it somewhere where you're not in mortal danger while operating it. I mean, what the fuck? Who built this? Was it George Lucas?
Please wear a jetpack while operating the tractor beam. Or you will probably die. You will fall kilometers to your death.
Why is there just an empty void in the fucking spaceship? Just a pointless empty void.
It's fucking dangerous. What if somebody slips? You break your neck?
No, you don't break your neck.
I mean, you don't break your neck. I mean, you slip and then you fall down. 10 trillion stories.
All because they were too cheap to build railings. Or to just fill up this empty space with something functional. How about more bedrooms? You can always fit in more bedrooms. I just feel like when they like escape the garbage compactor thing and they're arguing, Princess Leia just comes off as just a fucking bitch.
Yeah, just an annoying bitch. She's being rescued by these 2 guys, but she fucking hates them both.
Yeah.
And also the carpet.
Will somebody get this big walking carpet out of my way?
You feel like these characters hate each other.
They start hating each other more when they have to like find their way out of a situation. They don't learn to work together. Like all they learn is just to call C-3PO and tell him to deactivate the garbage thing. They don't learn to work together.
The character building is pretty shitty.
Yeah. They're pretty basic characters, but you don't really get attached to the characters. You don't feel anything for them.
No.
Han Solo is kind of fun, and Luke is the generic hero, but you don't really feel much for them.
No, indeed. This scene, I do not understand this scene.
It's them. Blast them.
They bump into our characters, and the stormtrooper says, "It's them, blast them!"
And then Han Solo blasts them, and then they just all run away.
And they immediately turn around and run away.
They could just have shot at the same time, and then all our heroes would be dead. But there are heroes, so they can't die.
They probably have missed or something if they would have shot. If you're saying no, these movies are way better than all the other Star Wars shit, you need to rewatch this film with
an open mind.
Yeah,
and not just your nostalgic brainwashed mind.
Because this movie it's sometimes a real shit show.
Yeah. I think the second one is better, and then the third one is just an even bigger shit show.
The third one is fucking awful. Holy fucking shit.
So Luke and Leia are running away, and they come across a gap. And I hate this scene. I hate this fucking scene. It's a terrible scene. For some reason, there's no bridge.
It's fucking dangerous.
I'm not even sure why there would be the option to retract the bridge.
Find the controls and extend the bridge.
Because if you take the concept from a bridge and there's a boat that needs to pass, the bridge needs to go open. so the boat can pass.
Yeah.
But there's nothing that's gonna cross their path here.
Maybe there's like some kind of lift, and it's in the same shaft.
Okay, but even if that is the case,
It's
we never see that.
No, but it's fucking dangerous.
Then they close the door, and then Luke shoots the panel on their side, which for some reason causes the panel on the other side to malfunction.
Yeah. Yeah, now it's locked, you see.
That's not how this works. That's not how any of this works.
Yeah.
If I turn off the lights and I smash the light switch, doesn't mean that the other light switch at the across the room that also controls the same light stops working. That's not how this works.
So what else happens? He uses like his Batman tool belt.
Oh yeah, he swings like Batman, and then that's it.
The thing is, these stormtroopers, they wear all this plastic armor, and the Han just shoots someone, and he's fucking that.
Yeah.
One shot kill. Easy.
Why the fuck do they use their armor when it doesn't protect them from the only weapon that is
He
used?
could
in the
have
Star
been
Wars
running
universe?
around in their underwear. Fuck this shit, man. I hate this scene.
They arrive at the landing bay, but the stormtroopers are in the way, and then suddenly Darth Vader and Obi-Wan are fighting exactly at the same place.
How convenient.
Very conveniently. And then the stormtroopers move away from the ship towards the fight of Darth Vader and Obi-Wan to just stand there and do nothing.
Yeah. It's fucking stupid. Hey, wait, they're not on their post. Shouldn't someone say they're not on their post?
Yeah, because last time when somebody moved 1 meter away from his post, they started yelling at him immediately.
Yeah.
TK421, why aren't you at your post? TK421, do you copy?
But the script says they don't have to do that. They don't have to.
No, it doesn't have to happen. Yeah, okay.
Doesn't matter.
Old senile Ben Kenobi sacrifices himself way too early. Like he should sacrifice himself when they're flying away. Like, okay, now I can die. Now I can be one with the Force.
Because he can't win the fight, obviously.
Yeah, because I'm not good enough anymore. So yeah, now strike me down. Then I can be one with the Force. When they're already taking off, but they still have to get in the ship and get everything up and running.
The fantastic thing about this scene is Obi-Wan is obviously trolling Luke here. I find this fucking fantastic. Luke is standing there and he looks at Ben, and Ben is looking at him and he smiles. He's like, we're gonna have him this time now, this stupid kid. And he basically commits suicide. Darth Vader strikes him down. And this is the moment where Luke yells for some reason. Oh no, my master has died! And so all the stormtroopers turn around and they start shooting at them, but it's way too early. They should have gone away right now.
He should have distracted them for a little longer. He died too early, this motherfucker. He's just trolling the whole thing.
Wait a minute. This is hilarious. After Darth Vader kills Obi-Wan Kenobi, he can clearly see like his other prisoners escape with the plans and their prisoner, and he just walks away.
He just walks in the background.
He doesn't give a shit. And these guys are like shooting at the stormtroopers while their escape vehicle is right there. It's like you would rob a bank and then would stand outside of your vehicle shooting at the cops and not get into your car. Just drive away. Just go. Fucking move. So here, the CGI man, who isn't CGI anymore here, he states...
You're sure the homing beacon is secure aboard their ship?
So they had this tracker on board so they could track the rebel base, obviously. But why did they send out these ships to shoot at it? Did these guys know it was a suicide mission? Did they inform the pilots of the TIE fighters that it was a suicide mission?
Yeah, because they must have told the pilots to not really damage the Millennium Falcon that much, because they still needed to get away. So they knew they were all gonna get killed, right? So who would volunteer for such a job?
They let us go. It's the only explanation for the ease of our escape.
Easy? You call that easy?
They're tracking us.
And then Han Solo's like, no, they can't track my ship. And then she's like, fuck it, you're probably right.
Let's go straight to our base that no one can know about.
So much for that suspicion.
Instead of them going to a highway restaurant, but in space, and loaning another ship to go to the base, she obviously knows about them tracking their ship.
Or she's at least suspicious of it.
But she doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, because Han Solo says it's fine. No, it's fine.
They can probably go to a transmitting station and transmit the plans to the rebel base because they have the plans. Because she said, at least the information on R2 is still intact.
there's probably some sort of explanation for what the fuck these guys with the radar guns are doing.
Yeah.
Maybe they're like scanning what kind of ship it is or whatever. I don't know, but it just looks like they're measuring their speed and they're about to send like cops on bikes after them.
Oh no, this guy is flying 6 trillion miles an hour.
Okay, so the guy is like scanning their ship, and it's an unknown ship, right? Because it's never landed there before.
I guess.
Yet there's like no problems whatsoever. They land and then they just cut to like the next shot, and they're just standing there casually talking to the rebels.
Darth Vader could have been in the ship.
Why don't they like scramble jets to like try to intercept them? What are you doing here?
Yeah, that would be more realistic. Yeah, that would be quite nice.
Yeah, follow us to this landing bay. It's what they do in the next movie when they go to Cloud City.
When a more competent director makes the movie.
Yeah.
You know. By the way, when R2 shows like the plans of the Death Star and it's actually just some shitty drawing of the Death Star, the drawing is wrong.
Please explain how.
So in the picture of the Death Star, you can clearly see like the equator, and the dishes above it.
Yeah, but in the plan of the Death Star in the movie, the dish is on the equator.
Yeah, so
the plans are wrong.
So this is already wrong. So how much can you trust the rest of the plans? The answer is none.
It's just so funny that their plans.
They didn't even get this right.
The way they show how you need to do the run and how you need to fire into the small exhaust port.
Yeah.
It's like you have the trench of the Death Star, which I guess is on the equator, right?
Let's say it's the equator because it's the way the sphere is built.
So then you're just flying along the trench, and then suddenly there's like an exhaust port that's in a 90-degree corner.
Yeah, it's perpendicular to the surface.
How the fuck are you supposed to fire straight into the? You should not approach from the trench, but approach from somewhere else so you can fire straight into the exhaust port.
You should actually approach it from a straight line out of the exhaust port.
But they approach
and that would be way easier.
But they approach it from like a 90-degree angle. They can never hit that.
No, it's fucking retarded. Doesn't make any sense. You could probably snipe it.
Yeah.
If you could, if you would take a sniper, you would probably be able to snipe it. And you wouldn't have to send like 15 fighters to their deaths.
Mm-hmm.
So the line
orbiting the planet at maximum velocity
makes no sense. So let's assume the orbits are circular.
Yeah, they're basically orbiting in a perfect circle around.
Let's assume that, right?
The planet.
So that line makes no sense because the speed of an orbit is defined by the height of the orbit. For example, the moon. The moon orbits in 29 days. And the height of the moon is quite high. It's 340,000 kilometers.
I have no idea.
Something like this. And the ISS, the International Space Station, orbits at around 400 kilometers and orbits in 90 minutes. So the line orbiting at maximum velocity is just random space gibberish.
Because you can't really like accelerate in your orbit and stay in the same orbit.
Exactly.
Because your orbit will change if you accelerate.
And it's also stupid that just in this point where it's convenient that for time's sake to have orbits and things move slow, it's for the plot really essentially.
Yeah, because orbits have never mattered before
Oh.
and will never matter again.
And that's the fucking annoying part.
Yeah.
And also, and that's a really dumb thing actually. So this is the display of the orbit, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But then we see later that the moon, look, they're going like this, and the moon is behind the planet.
Yeah.
Why aren't they just thrusting the opposite way? If they just go this way, and then they go like this, and then they have a visual on the moon, and they just blow it up.
I mean, they can probably get there much faster by just thrusting away because they're in an interstellar death machine with unlimited fuel.
Yeah.
They can probably go light speed because otherwise they wouldn't be able to get anywhere.
Yeah. Obviously. And the dumb thing is, when they want to blow up this moon, the planet is in the way. And that's because they took this approach.
Yeah.
If they took the other approach, the planet wouldn't be in the way.
Because you can just reverse your orbit by thrusting the other way.
Yeah, of course. If they just thrust this way, the orbit would flip around and it would just fall the other way. Fuck you, man.
What I also think is very strange is like Luke is just this random farmer boy that ends up in the rebellion. And they're just immediately giving him a spacecraft to fight the Death Star with.
We've never seen him fly.
Yeah,
in the entire movie, we have never seen him fly.
Like, there's been 2 mentions of him being a pretty good pilot.
You bet I could. I'm not such a bad pilot myself. I'm not going to sit here and listen.
You sure you can handle this shit, sir?
Luke is the best bush pilot in the Outer Rim territories.
Even though he's never proven himself. Okay, then in the end he gets to prove himself, but why does the Rebellion trust him to operate this fucking machine?
I don't fucking
Doesn't
know.
he first have to do like some sort of course or something? At least prove that he can actually fly? Just saying that you can fly it's probably not enough, right? One would hope.
I don't think he has ever flown an X-Wing before, by the way. Because an X-Wing is a fighter ship. I don't think he's been a fighter. He's been farming water on a desert planet.
The thing we've only seen him drive is like basically what a car is.
Yeah. I'm wondering, can't they just like send a bunch of Star Destroyers first and start the attack and stall them so that they wouldn't be launching an attack on the Death Star first? Like, they have a fucking giant fleet.
In the end, they only have the Death Star. There are no Star Destroyers to protect them.
But they have they have a lot of these.
Yeah, and I know that they had like a lot of problems making the movie, and it was really hard on them and all this stuff. But the space battle around the Death Star, it's so stupid. There's like 5 enemy craft, or you have like Darth Vader and like 2 by its side, and it's like the main enemy force is like 3 craft. It comes off as not very intimidating.
Yeah, I guess it's pretty cheaply made, right?
I guess that was like the reason why many people said that the space battle in the 6th one was the best one, but only if you compare it to this. As it is on its own, the one from Return of the Jedi, it's also pretty bad. Like, they're all pretty bad.
What is Luke shooting at?
He does this attack run, and he's just shooting at the surface of the Death Star.
He's not even shooting at the surface cannons.
Yeah, he's not even trying to take out. He's just
shooting random shots.
And he's doing nothing really.
And the thing is, he's such a fucking good pilot, huh? They always say how good a pilot he is, and he almost fucking kamikazes himself into the fucking Death Star.
In the first run he's making, he almost crashes his ship into the Death
He didn't
Star.
hit anything, and he almost died. Well, fuck you, man. Learn how to fly a spaceship, moron. They imply that they're flying around like fighter jets, but they don't behave like fighter jets because they're always flying in straight lines. They're just flying in straight line, and then when an enemy comes behind them, they just don't do anything.
And then they just die.
Normally they would like move and turn around and like make turns and stuff, but they're just flying straight ahead, and then they're going, oh no, Fatso, pull up, and then just no, I'm fine. I have an issue with that. You're never going to shoot on an enemy ship and then fly through the debris. The ship doesn't despawn when you kill it, like in a game. There's still debris. Like, the ship is still there. It still exists. If you fly through it, you die. It's bad.
I take issue with the entire attack plan of like flying through the trench.
Yeah.
They enter the trench and they keep flying straight for like several hundred kilometers, I guess, because I assume they're flying pretty fast. So then they keep flying straight, and then you see like the displays, oh, we're getting there.
Yeah.
Then they keep flying, and you see the display again, oh boy, we're almost there.
We're almost there.
But then they just keep flying, and then there's enemies that come from behind them.
And they do nothing.
Instead of doing evasive maneuvers, like going back around or whatever, you're in space. You can literally do anything. You just keep flying straight.
But the thing is...
And then the enemies kill them.
It's the most shitty attack plan in fucking human history.
Why do you keep
flying?
flying?
Where's the cover?
Why do you keep flying straight? Try to like move around a bit so they don't hit you immediately.
When you see that the enemy is picking you off one by one, don't just keep going straight. Just get out of there and try for another run. And instead of the wingman searching for a target, they're just playing human shield. Fire now. Do it now. Just fire. Skim the surface of the other planet and fire.
You can probably obliterate half of it.
Yeah.
Fire now.
Just fire now. Oh wait, the cannon isn't even charged? What the fuck?
Why didn't you charge the cannon before you were in range of the planet?
This makes no sense. Like the moment Wedge gets hit and he says, oh no, I'm hit. And then Luke says, oh, you're no good here. Get the fuck out. Why? He can just loop back around and then shoot with his... He's got cannons, right?
If they were going to do that, they would have done it way before.
It's just so frustrating to see that they don't do anything. What actually happens on this point?
Okay, so Han Solo comes down, he shoots once.
The thing is, Darth Vader says, I have you now, and he has the leader, so Luke, he has him locked. So you see him shoot and you see the bullets flying, and at that point, after the shot has been made, Han Solo appears from the sun and shoots his wingman. But he's already made the shot. Lucas dead. He had him inside. He had him on target.
No. You don't understand. In George Lucas's universe, once you destroy the source of the missile, the missile itself disappears.
No, he didn't even kill Darth Vader. He killed his wingman.
He flies away.
It happens when the other wingman lost control for some reason. For some random reason, the other wingman lost control and flew into Darth Vader, and Darth Vader gets launched away. Why? It makes no sense. It's fucking weird.
None of that sequence makes any sense. I'm really wondering why there would be like some kind of award ceremony in this case. Okay, they blew up the Death Star. They blew up basically one weapon of the Empire.
Yeah,
the Empire is still there. Yeah. The Empire is still at large.
Hooray, we didn't die.
They might be able to kill us later, but for now we're kind of safe. Darth Vader's still alive. If you look at the next movie, they have even more ships that they show now. And also, when they eventually manage to defeat the Empire in the 6th movie, they have no award ceremony and they're just dancing with some Ewoks.
The weird thing is, they blow up the Death Star, and for some reason Han gets a medal.
Yeah, he shot one guy and that's it. Chewbacca doesn't get a medal because he's an animal, because they're racist, because they're specious. It's just so awkward because nobody's saying anything. They're all just giving each other these weird looks like, ooh, ooh.
It feels like they filmed this like way after the movie was done. Said like, shit, we need an ending for our movie. It's right, but we have no script, we have no lines, we have no dialogue. Whatever, just film it. Nobody needs to say anything. Just fucking film it and let's shove it in there. After this, I'm gonna get fucking drunk with all my money.
This was a depressing experience.
I remember that you said to me, we need to watch this movie again. And we need to like nitpick it like everyone does with the new sequels. And I remember you said to me the 4th episode is actually not that bad. It's actually it's all right.
It's not really that good. The thing is, you can probably nitpick any movie, maybe not as much as this, but you can find flaws with any movie. And if you look at a movie with that kind of a view, you're not gonna enjoy it at all. Because I didn't enjoy this, and I don't think I will enjoy this movie anymore. Because I enjoyed it before, I didn't watch it much. I've never been a Star Wars fan. I don't like Star Wars. At this point, I basically like one movie and that's it. Star Wars, I don't even want to say it's overrated. I don't think it's even good. I think it's pretty bad. It's just incredibly popular, and that's the problem.
Yeah, I don't understand why. And the thing is, it's because it's so popular, every new movie that they release, it can never be a good movie.
Yeah.
It's impossible to make a good Star Wars movie because of the fan base. It gets fucking nitpicked to death. And there nothing remains of the film.
And I know that we just nitpick this to death, but it's basically just to show that you can do this with any Star Wars movie.
Yeah. We want to make a statement here.
And we're gonna continue, you motherfuckers.
I'm gonna destroy every film of the Star Wars saga. Fuck you all.
So in the end,
let's blow this thing and go home.